Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or novex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Ready?
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself, and earthly power doth then show likest God's, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow this strict court of Venice, must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
All a good man and feel the pain. Stay by our side and guide us. We pray, Dervan. Give us all your blessings and help us. We pray, Dervan. Time is running out, but we need no one, not to cry nor shout. Change them who've gone astray and show them the way, Dervan. Make this an everlasting example. We pray, Dervan. Yeah. Man was made to suffer, yeah, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Have mercy on a good man and help him. We pray, Dervan. Have mercy on a good girl and help her.
Dominating that recording, the late lead vocalist Donald Tabby Shaw, and the news has gotten around the world like wildfire, being reported by all the major news outlets that Donald Tabby Shaw, lead singer in the Mighty Diamonds, the trio, the Mighty Diamonds, Donald Tabby Shaw, sadly, was one of two people shot and killed during what is described as a drive-by shooting. Condolences to his family, his musical colleagues, friends, fans all over the world. Let us commiserate with those who are hurting. There's another bit of news that popped up on the smartphone. The passing of another Jamaican of note. We've interviewed him a few times here on both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. We saw a post by Jamaica's Consul General based in Miami, Florida, Oliver Mayer, a post which came as a shock for those of us who knew Rory Marsh. We got news, well, that's how I learned of it, from a pop-up from Oliver Mayer's Facebook page. The news is that Rory Marsh, this young man, it's really scary, really quite scary. Rory Marsh passed away on Monday at age 44. Condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, all those who've ever had an interaction with him. Those of us who are still in the land of the living, we have a lot to be thankful for. Some of us just take this business of life for granted. We should never take it for granted. Never, ever take it for granted. And so that's how we have started this afternoon. We began with the words of Portia, the character in Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, published in 1596. It speaks to the quality of mercy. Mercy. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself, and earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there. The original trio of the Mighty Diamonds was formed in 1969 in Trenchtown. The group comprised of lead vocalist Donald Tabby Shaw, who was killed yesterday. The other two harmony vocalists, Fitzroy Bunny Simpson and Lloyd Judge Ferguson, completed the trio, the Mighty Diamonds. We all need to have that, to give way, to yield to that part of us that represents mercy. Mercy. Have mercy. Have mercy.
Walk into Marjan's Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15. Treat yourself to famous Jamaican jerk dishes at Sweetwood Jerk Joint. Succulent pork, chicken served with mouth-watering side orders. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, open every day. Call 876-906-4854 or come to 78 Watson Boulevard in Kingston in a secured environment. Across from Emancipation Park, all COVID-19 protocols observed. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, the home of Jamaican jerk.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Stories from Jamaica and across the world, keeping you informed on the issues of the day and more. It's Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Learn interesting facts and trivia. Participate in lively discussions on affairs locally and internationally. Hear the stories of business, philanthropy, and more from Jamaicans at home and abroad on Both Sides of the Story. Come tell your side of the story. Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, on a mission to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Weekdays 2 to 5 p.m. live on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Made to suffer, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Have mercy on a good.
It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and 2022 marks the start of the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 30th day of the third month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Here in Jamaica and in the United States, the month of March is still being observed as Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. Also in the US, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month, Salt Awareness Month, and Women's History Month. In the United Kingdom, March is also Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. The birthday of the Sultan of Malaysia, the Sultan of Kelantan in Malaysia, is being celebrated today. It's Doctors' Day in the USA, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago are observing Spiritual Baptist Liberation Shouter Day in TNT. Hoy es miércoles el 30 de marzo 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est mercredi le 30 mars 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de ceux parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 13h à 5h de l'après-midi, sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 30th and penultimate day in the month of March 2022. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Man was made to suffer, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Stay right.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. If you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, please dial 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story. If you don't have a Facebook account, there's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone or a not so smartphone, a laptop, a desktop, a tablet computer, any one of those. And then you need internet connection. And then open a browser like Bing, Safari, Google Chrome, and others, and type YouTube, and the box will populate in no time. And if you're doing this now, you should be seeing this video trending. If not, in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just see, but hear what's not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open to you, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Simon Crosskill earlier on was trying to lead us in the direction of an overworked debate in this country. Ever so often, and you learn this when you work in a newsroom, that there are dry spells in the newsroom when there's very little or no news to report. And so what you do, you go into the can and you check to find what was said last year or what was topical last year, etc. And you dust it off and you bring it out and you say, we need to have a senator in the upper house in the diaspora. And then we have the same discussions over and over and over again. I'm not, I've had enough of the discussions. I think we just simply need to recognize, as we say in Jamaican parlance, that one hand can't clap. My mother used to say that. One hand can't clap and one finger can't kill lice, or words to that effect. And once we are there, once we have that recognition of the tremendous wealth of experience and talent at home and abroad, it can only make us stronger. There's a song that says, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. It can only make us stronger for us to join hands as Jamaicans at home and Jamaicans abroad. That's all we need to do. And we discuss, we make arrangements, and what should inform the discussions and the decisions that we make is Jamaica. That's it. Jamaica. If we think along those lines, chances are we will act along those lines and we'll see the benefits. So we're not into the every now and then you dig up the story. It has been discussed over and over and over again, and it's not going anywhere because you have one set of Jamaicans saying, if you're not sleeping in Jamaica, if you're not living in Jamaica, if you're not paying taxes in Jamaica, then you shouldn't be put in a position, a decision-making position. And there's another set that says, hold on, look at the tremendous contribution of the diaspora. And in fact, there is more than enough evidence of the diaspora keeping Jamaica afloat at different times in our history. In 2020, there are those who point to the remittances, more than 3.5 billion US dollars. And last year, I believe it would be closer to 4 billion last year. And so there are those who point to these issues. And then the back and forth. There's no mystery to it. There's no magic to it. It's just people who are happy for an opportunity to sound off and to express themselves. And then there are those who have been invited to participate in these discussions. I don't know. I think I've said it on this program quite a bit, that I actually get bored easily. And it's just a fact. I get bored easily, which is why I surprise myself that I've stayed at this one place going 29 years now, and so on and so forth. But I do get bored easily. Same old. Yeah, we unless we're picking up the discussion to take it to another level, or to arrive at a policy position or prepare a policy document that is going to be properly circulated and ventilated, and then we come back and we say, all right, well, we might not need to have someone in the Senate, but this is what we're suggesting. But whatever we do, let us not bring it down to Jamaicans at home fighting Jamaicans abroad. Let's not bring it down to the level of a Will Smith slap. Let's not do that, please. We have been doing well, Jamaicans on both sides, in terms of playing our part sufficiently to keep this country going. Well, we don't have time for the sensationalism. Sensationalism is not going anywhere. Let's move on. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30.
Good news! Private HIV care is now more affordable with Health Connect Jamaica. What that means is you can access HIV care with a private doctor at little to no cost. Give us a call at 876-669-7349 or book an appointment at healthconnectja.com today. The preceding ad was brought to you in partnership with USAID.
Crime Stop Jamaica 311, Woodside District, Maypen, Clarendon, 8 p.m. Thursday, December 16, 2021. We need your help to solve the brutal murder of 55-year-old chef Marlene Stewart Campbell. Mrs. Campbell heard knocking on her door and opened it to find two men who shot her several times. The men ran from the scene. The reason for this murder is unknown. Crime Stop Jamaica is offering a total reward of $250,000 for information leading to the arrest and charge of these murderers. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311. Solving crime pays.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican
Both sides
radio
of the
dedicated
story.
to the
Good
world of
afternoon.
automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and
Good
McGregor.
afternoon.
Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical
You want to go?
operation.
You would
Find out
like to
about
go
the
on
various
air?
stakeholders in the local and international
One
automotive
moment, please.
sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
All you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century, packed into one program. Farm Talk with Alpha Mackenzie. Farm Talk, showcasing cutting-edge agricultural products, services, and practices. Farm Talk, keeping focus on issues affecting the farming community. Farm Talk, stimulating discourse to propel agriculture as a national tool for development. Farm Talk with Alpha Mackenzie, the farmer's best friend.
When I listen to you in the mornings and the way you interview the people so that us as farmers can really understand, you break it down. It's really powerful.
Wake up to Farm Talk, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and it's time for us to hear from you. What's on your mind? What do you think of what's in the news? What's happening, not just locally, but also regionally and internationally? Whatever the discussion, we're ready for it. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. In fact, someone is on that very line now. Let's see if we can bring him on air. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm very well.
Good.
First time getting a chance to interact with you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for calling.
I always admire you.
Yes.
The way you send your messages across, man, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
I believe all well-thinking school children would really look up to you as a innovator, because you're doing a fine job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
We have a big problem in Jamaica. And our biggest problem right now, I believe, is crime, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here for a while, and I see they bring in so much stuff. Suppression of crime, you name it.
Yes.
And none of them work.
Why do you think they haven't worked in a sustainable way?
They haven't worked in a sustainable way. They haven't worked. Because that is the reason why we never used to have this amount of murder. So it doesn't work. Now, the legislators, they make laws. We don't make guns here. they've been making laws over the years and abandoning laws and you name it, and nothing solves crime. Now, I'm asking you, Mr. Malcolm, do you believe these people want to solve crime?
I'm sure there are those who genuinely believe that they are capable and competent to play a significant enough role in the fight. We don't like to talk about the fight against crime, but more like enhancing safety and security in our country.
But they're here and they're working, so why can't they do it?
Well, yes, they could. Sorry. Go ahead.
If you believe that most of these government, these legislators, they want to eradicate crime, well, I don't believe so.
Well, they could argue as well that they feel sometimes like they're swimming up a river, from the standpoint that if you have a police force that is compromised to the point where you are having to arrest and charge those within your ranks because they have been acting not lawfully but criminally. So that undermines that is one of the factors undermining the effectiveness of the constabulary. So it's like taking one step forward and 10 backwards.
I believe that in a sense, there's too much police is involved in crime. That is one part of it. But I listened to them, the captain man with 150 rounds the other day. And in 2 weeks, that man is back on the street. Now, how can we, what are we telling, what kind of message are we sending right here?
That Jamaica is a country of laws, because we still have to abide by the laws of the land. If the laws of the land set out certain terms and conditions with respect to bail, for example, you can't just throw it out the window.
That is what I'm saying, Mr. Malcolm. That is the same thing I'm saying. When they should make laws that when you catch a man with a gun, we can't protect our borders. It is impossible for us to protect our borders.
Well, they'll tell you that's what they're doing now. It's being, they're having what they call them, meetings now, working on legislation to strengthen anti-gun laws.
And that will never stop it, Mr. Malcolm. But listen, when you catch a man with a gun, a legal gun, which we don't want here, they must make laws to keep him in jail. Make laws to keep that man in jail until the case has tried, and depending on the outcome of the case, that man, if he is successful, he go walk. If he's not successful, it's nothing less than 25 years for him. You put in those type of laws, we need draconian law to cover these kind of, to deal with these type of, they put in all type of laws, that's what they want. The legislators, they have the right to do that. So how can you put in a law, how can't you put in a law that will cause this situation, which is a monstrous problem on us? Okay, you catch a man with a gun. The other day, a man was out on bail on a gun charge. He went to report to the police and shoot up the police station. I run away. He's out on bail on a gun charge. No, he should never be able to do that. Never should he able to be out of on the street on a gun charge when we say we don't want any gun here. I will give you the warning, say if we catch you with a gun, what is going to be the consequences? How can you let him back out on the street? A man 150 rounds, and 2 weeks and let's go right back to the job. Without approving him, doing anything to him. You just send him, give him bail and send him out. You know, these lawyers that they call good lawyers. I believe they should be, these lawyers should be, well, it's the rules of the land. The land must have rules that govern it and make everybody have a good, safe life. The expectation of everybody is to have a safe and a good life. You can be anywhere and it's not safe. Nowhere is safe in Jamaica, away from the Jackson and the Beverly Hills and all those things. But anywhere else is not safe. We can't have a country like this. We need to do better than that. We need to put in laws, rules, and regulations to let these criminals understand that everybody needs a safe place in their country. Not a few guys running around like here, Wild West, and doing all these crazy things. And these legislators stand up, sit down, kick over, and watch them doing all these kind of things. No. We need laws. We need laws. If the regular law cannot hold them, you cannot abide by it. COVID come around and everybody, to the best of their ability, they abide with the rules and regulations. Yeah. The street, when I look at the street sometimes, it's so disastrous. It's anything. Nobody. We need to take another turn as legislators and see the effectiveness of this. And you know, I hear the diaspora people, they are to give them helping hand. So see if they can help to curb the crime situation. And Mr. Chang say if they want anything to do with Jamaica, they must give him some money. What type of medicine are they?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, giving anybody any money. We don't know about that.
No, he said if they want to do something for Jamaica, they must give Jamaica some money. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, we dealt with that on this program already, and Mr. Dr. Chang has been roundly condemned by members of the diaspora for his unfeeling and ill-advised comment.
Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
You know, I'm on the extreme. I can't hear you now, so another time I'll give you a call.
All right, thank you for the call. Yes, this environment has gotten much noisier. Thank you. All the best. Good. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's clear some messages. Do we have time? Let's see. A few seconds to the break. Good afternoon to Sherry South Time. Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Good afternoon to you as well. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Come and gather with friends, family, and fellow followers of Jesus Christ. Come and feel peace through music and messages of Jesus Christ. Come and hear the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come and see what is possible because of Him.
Join us for General Conference on Sunday 3rd at 10:30 a.m. here on this station.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a
Good afternoon, both sides of the story. Thanks for calling.
Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business.
Good afternoon. We're on a commercial break now. We'll let you know. Yes. Hang on, please. One moment, please. One moment, please. We're off air now. We're off air. Hold on, please.
Securing our future.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Stories from Jamaica and across the world, keeping you informed on the issues of the day and more. It's Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Learn interesting facts and trivia. Participate in lively discussions on affairs locally and internationally. Hear the stories of business, philanthropy, and more from Jamaicans at home and abroad on Both Sides of the Story. Come tell your side of the story. Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, on a mission to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Weekdays, 2 to 5 p.m. Live on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
On a good way.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Just before we take another call, let's clear a few more messages. Lorraine Brown, somewhere between Claremont and St. Anne's Bay. Good afternoon to you. We're fine, thanks. Hope the same for you. Jacqueline Simmons says, good evening, blessings. Good afternoon, Jacqueline Simmons. Exley Montgomery says, Michael in Belle Plaine, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. How you think about their final, your old school and St. Jago? Well, we wish both teams all the very best. And it's a matter of which team turns up, like really turns up on the night of the final. So let's see which team turns up. And whichever team turns up, they will walk away the winner. Thank you very much for your message, Exley Montgomery. Neriga Smart Morgan 7 says, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you too, Neriga Smart Morgan 7. She says, I would like to ask whosoever that is responsible for our education system in Jamaica, if they can't come up with some form of safety measures in our nation's schools. But they have. That's why they created the Safe Schools program, and they have the school resource officers, and they've acquired metal detectors and all of these things. But it's going to take much more than that because of the kind of society in which our children are growing up. It's going to take much more. It's going to take appealing to the softer side of these students and bringing out of these students that softer side, which comes from guidance and counseling constantly. And do we have enough? Do we have the personnel? Do we have the resources? We'll have to find the resources. She says, so that all these weapons don't enter the school compound. There's just too much going on in our nation's schools. OMG. Well, yes, there is some indication that the disruption of that rudimentary teaching and learning exercise has been thrown off track, and that includes the behavioral tendencies of the students and how those tendencies have ebbed and flowed in a way that they are, a lot of them right now are just downright out of order, and maybe not intentionally, but out of ignorance, because they haven't been exposed. Because ideally, all of that should be taken care of at the home in terms of the effective socialization of the child. But let's be real, that's not always going to be possible here in Jamaica. And so the schools act as some kind of a buffer, some kind of a cushion to minimize the fallout. And so we just need all hands on deck. Like that little song we used to sing in basic school, you in your small corner and I in mine. We need all hands on deck and get away from this business of cursing each other and deriding each other. No. While the children are hurting. No, that's not the approach. The approach is to put the children at the center of what we do, how we do, when we do, why we do, must be about the children. Thank you for your message, Nariga Smart Morgan 7. Violet White in Florida says, good afternoon, Dervan. Blessings. Love that song. Jeannie Chambers, good afternoon to you too. Tanisha Davis, good afternoon. She says, can you send happy birthday greetings to my mom, Jiva, in Rose Hill, Clarendon, please? We just did, Tanisha. Happy birthday, Jiva, in Rose Hill, Clarendon. Carol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada says, good afternoon, Brother Dervan and listeners. Happy Wednesday to you too, Carol. Inez Ayona Campbell, good afternoon. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas, we hope you'll have a great day as well. And Sherry South Time says good afternoon. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Malcolm?
Good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, Mr. Malcolm. Just want to touch on one of a few things. Like, if we should get senators from the diaspora, I think it would be a good thing, you can rotate them like Senator Rotalum. Just rotate them, like annually or so. You understand?
Yes.
Just for them, you could rotate them. But remember, the United States, I think we have some law that if you're a citizen of the United States, you can't sit in any political office outside of the United States. Have you heard about that law?
Yes, so those who are committed to running or participating just need to take whatever action is necessary for them to be able to participate in the process. If not, then they'll have to perhaps look at possible amendments to existing laws, etc., etc. But whatever we do, we should just recognize that we have a good thing going here in Jamaica. I was talking for 1 hour and 50 minutes with a journalist in Antigua, 1 hour, 50 minutes on the phone. And you would think that, as we say, as my mother would say, "Im neighbor string cut" right here in Jamaica. Loving Jamaica, and he was saying he has found in the region, Jamaica is the only country, in his opinion, that has in a deliberate way sought the engagement of members of the diaspora, their diaspora across the globe, and to nurture and engender that kind of collaborative energy between Jamaicans at home and abroad, to do so many remarkable things that have been done so far. So there are those who are looking on and thinking, hey, you've got a good thing going, Jamaica.
I'm hearing you, Mr. Malcolm. I think too, because these people, they're the diaspora people, and particularly those in America, Canada, and England. These people work, send their money to relatives, and they sometimes have their investment here and all of that. So, I not say the reason why we couldn't have that happen in the Senate.
And it's not just about the financial remittances. It's also about, importantly, intellectual remittances. It's like when the Japanese, there's a thing about the Japanese that they always have their cameras and they're always taking pictures. So they see things that excite them, that stimulate their interest. They take a picture of it, they go back to Japan and they create something like it or better than it.
You're right, Mr. Malcolm, because not straight. Not too long ago, I was known by Central Bank, and I see these two Japanese taking pictures of the whole structure. And they say that they are looking for some nice building in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Just a nice building that they have never seen anywhere else.
Yes. So the point is we have talented people who are right here, and we have talented people all over the globe. And so when they go to these other countries and they live in these other countries, they are able to share with us. They're able to share with us some of the experience and expertise and some of the insights which we can carefully apply to the development of our country. Yeah. So I think that's where we must concentrate, as opposed to cussing each other as if we're breeding enmity between Jamaicans at home and Jamaicans abroad. We're not into that.
Absolutely right, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
Absolutely right. Secondly, before I go, I heard a caller, I think it's last week, a Canadian farm worker was complaining, and I heard him on another station, complaining about the government who let them go back because they don't have any immunization.
Oh, so he was on another station because he was here as well.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. I was on another station too and talk. But you remember the problem the Canadian have with the truckers, Mr. Malcolm? Who are across the United States.
Yes.
The central reason about that matter, sir, is because they didn't want to be vaccinated. And I heard, I don't know if Canada as target, you go on your Canada and other things going to Canada without your vaccine, before you're vaccinated. So I don't know, these people think life just come like this way. You have your job over there. What is so hard for you to just take the vaccination and go back to your job, your farm work, and whatever job you want to do with you?
Well, the people are big on democracy and freedom. And we always say on this program, people are free to do what they want to do and free to be whatever they want to be, so long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom.
You know, how much parents say that they're not going to let their children get the vaccination with a Malcolm.
And therefore, if there are consequences to flow from that, and we hope, then so be it.
When the Pennsylvania really start, a lot of them, because their children are athletic, they want to tell them to go back over there. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you make choices at your own risk, quite frankly.
You are absolutely right. I won't look at
Not at all, not at all. It's always good to hear from you. Sure, thank you.
All right.
We have Matthew, who has been holding on the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. But we need to take a break. So perhaps after the break, we can go to Matthew. But as we get ready to go to the break, Sherry Southtime says hello from New York, and she repeats the term intellectual remittances. Mikey Jarrett says Wednesday afternoon blessings and blessed love, Dervan Malcolm from Brooklyn, New York. Hello to you, Mikey Jarrett, and all the other Jamaicans in Brooklyn, New York. Good to have you on board both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Let's go to the break and come back with more in just a moment.
6 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Get front row access to 5 exhilarating days of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships live on OneSpotMedia.com. Pay-per-view from April 5 to 9. Purchase your early bird season pass for only US $27.99. Offer ends March 27, or the regular season pass for US $34.99. You may also purchase day passes, days 1, 2, and 3 for US $10.99 each. Day 4 US $15.99 and day 5 US $20.99. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go. Purchase your pay-per-view ticket.
is running out.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We see that June in Norway has been trying to get through on the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp number. And I think one or two others have been trying to connect with us on that 876-365-3346. You haven't been able to get through because Matthew has been holding on the line now for 15 minutes. Make that 16 minutes. So let's go to Matthew. Hello, good afternoon, Matthew. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're live on the radio. The world is listening. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, and how are you?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
Yes, I'm great. How are your parents doing?
Well, my late mom is still resting in peace. And thank God my father is still living in peace.
Yes, that is great. Yes, all right. I'm here. I want to talk about the states of public emergency, about the crime and violence that happened in Jamaica. Why does so many people murdered every year?
Because on the face of it, significant numbers of Jamaicans have a proclivity for violence, a tendency towards being quick to anger and quick to harming each other. So we have a huge problem in this country, which is now being examined by experts to try and determine why are Jamaicans, so many of us, always so angry and quick to fight and quick to draw for a weapon. So we are being studied right now.
Yes, I understand, because they always blamed the politicians, like they are the one that responsible for the crime and violence in Jamaica. The government need to stop the crime and violence from happening in Jamaica. So because these gunmen need to be arrested and charged for attempted murders and those things.
Well, the police will tell you that
people we are suffering because of the crime and violence, because Jamaica, this country is a poor country. You understand that? Why does when people vote for politicians every year, some people say that they are not helping them or nothing like that? So what are your thoughts about that?
We need greater levels of accountability. Those who are sent to represent the people, sent to Parliament to represent the people.
Hold on a second, Malcolm. I will call back on your program.
All right. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. June in Norway has been trying to connect. You can try again, June. The line is now free. The WhatsApp line, same as the text line. That number is now free, June in Norway. So feel free to call us back. In the meantime, let's clear some more of your messages. Nigel McRae says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm here, still cold in New York. Stay warm, Nigel McRae in a cold New York. And hello to all the Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in New York. Let's go over to YouTube and see what you've been saying. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Lots of rain today. Stay dry, Cherry Henry. Asha Ash says, hi, Dervan, tuning in from London. Good show. Thank you, Asha Ash. Charles James, tongue-in-cheek, says, you get bored easily. yet you are so repetitious or repetitious in the way you speak. One example is your use of the same line each time you return from the break. Thanks for staying with us. And he's having a good laugh. Well, Charles, we like to say that the R in radio is for repetition. And the experts say repetition is the greatest form of pedagogy. You can follow up on that, Charles. Thank you for your message. And Donovan Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. I am giving God thanks for life. So it is. And so it should be. Casita Johnson says, good afternoon. Happy Wednesday, Mr. I'm sure she meant Dervan, vum, 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 V-A-N. I always love when you express your views positively. Thank you very much, Casita Johnson. Donovan Campbell says condolences to the family of the lead singer who lost his life, the lead singer of the Mighty Diamonds. Sad, says Donovan Campbell. Casita Johnson says, so true, Mr. Dervan. All hands on deck. Dr. Renee Williamson says, greetings, Dervan. Checking in from London, sending birthday greetings to Dr. Kingsley Chin, an outstanding Jamaican surgeon and innovator. Karine Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, viewers and listeners. Thank God for another day. Mr. Malcolm, the West Indies women lost to Australia by 157 runs. It was really a tough game, especially against this team. And Karine Campbell says, defeat is not the end. Most profound. A timely reminder. Thank you for that reminder, Karine Campbell. Defeat is not the end. In fact, isn't there a recording? Is it Glacier Robinson who has a song, It's Not Over Now? It's not over now. Herbert Bogle says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon. I'm watching from New York. Blessings. Welcome, Herbert Bogle, and all the others in New York, the Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in New York. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much. And yes, if you're just tuning in and you missed it, Donald Tabby Shaw, lead singer of the legendary trio Mighty Diamonds, has died. He was among two people killed in a drive-by shooting on McKinley Crescent in St. Andrew. He was 67. And we continue to convey condolences. Let's go to June in Norway, who has been trying to connect with us. Hello, June in Norway. It's 10:09 in the night in Norway, isn't it?
Yes, I'm here.
Just a moment. Let's mic you. There you are. Go ahead.
While I was calling you, people from Jamaica calling me. You know what the people then do me? Then call me every time your show is on. Then call me. And when Pastor show on, then call me. Because when they can't get me, they know, so me I listen you and me I listen Pastor. So they always call me them time now.
Now we know.
Sometimes they don't remember the time different, but they know, so me always not sleep when you show on and Pastor show. Anyway, I'm not going to leave that there now. I love your show last night, you see, about the sport trials. Oh my God. Dervan,
yes.
I'm going to say one thing, and I don't want nobody to get me wrong. I think nothing, I don't mean anything. You know, a lot of Jamaican don't know Jamaica.
That is a fact.
Jamaican don't know nothing about Jamaica, not even myself.
That is a fact.
You know how me know Jamaica?
How?
When Jamaica history, when I listen to you.
I'm humbled to hear you say that.
And since I leave Jamaica and come back and can afford to move around a little bit, I get to know Jamaica. We don't know what we have, and a lot of Jamaica don't know Jamaica. Last night, it was so interesting to listen to your show. This gentleman who called, he said he was 89 or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was just second to
Mr.
last call.
Xavier, Sergeant Xavier Williams. Yes.
Oh my God, that was when I want to call and me couldn't call. No one call, but me say, you know what, you better me listen. And then me listen to this gentleman from America, this truck driver, you know.
Yes, driver in America.
And then me hear Wilson I tell you about the telephone and this and that Wilson. How is the Wilson, you know, he used to call Pastor Show every night, you know, and me used to call him CNN because he's so informative.
Yes. Yes, he's on top of the news.
Yes, he is very informative. Me listening. He used to the pamper because me used to call him CNN because he was so informative. Anyway, let me leave that here now again.
Yes.
So this Port Royal now, back to Port Royal. They said we used to have Port Royal very often, you know. But me never been to the places them all not talk about. Because I'm going to tell one story now, I'm going to tell you my business. The whole world can't know me not here. Me married twice.
Oh.
2 times me married a Jamaican man for 9 years together. Me married me Norwegian husband. And me I tell you, my husband's family was from Port Royal.
I see.
So I was a lot in Port Royal, but now you know the tourist area and blah 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 blah. You're just a normal person. Because my husband's brother was an officer on the Coast Guard, Port Royal Coast Guard. And they were all over the place. You know, I know that when we hear people talk about black people and white people and this and that. In Port Royal in those days, it was a lot of people, mixed people. You know, missing more white people than black people.
Oh, really?
Them time there. Me don't know what happened to me. Me love black and me one of the proudest black people. Me know me always attractive to brown man, you know. Then say black man love brown man. But brown man like me. I don't know why. Because my husband, you know, he was my first husband. His mother was a black woman and his father was a half white man, and they were from Grand Cayman. Yeah, my husband's father was from Grand Cayman and his mother was a Jamaican. He was a half white man. Anyway, I mean, I should go no more further about that. You can't talk a little bit about that. And my name never so common. Them time that me did marry and me change my name from Lane to my husband's name. And it's not a common name. It's uncommon. And I can't tell you what you have to spell it. Because everybody will spell it wrong.
Butler?
And Jamaica, they used to spell it wrong. Everyone they going to spell my name wrong them time there. Let me spell it to you now. Watler.
Watler?
Yeah, it wasn't a very common name. That was my name. I have this name for 9 years, my husband, the first husband. And I changed it afterward back to my father's name. So Lane is my father's name. Because my father now,
One moment, please. Tell us some more after the break.
Jesus, oh Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
It's a link.
Amen. And you shall be a living testimony here on the Lord's side.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3:16.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Stories from Jamaica and across the world, keeping you informed on the issues of the day and more. It's Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Learn interesting facts and trivia. Participate in lively discussions on affairs locally and internationally. Hear the stories of business, philanthropy, and more from Jamaicans at home and abroad on Both Sides of the Story. Come tell your side of the story. Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, on a mission to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Weekdays 2 to 5 p.m. Live on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Mercy on a good way, and help him. We pray to man. Have mercy on a good girl, and help her.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Thanks for holding. June in Norway, where it's now 17 minutes past 10 o'clock in the night.
Yeah. Okay, never continue wrap up. So me I go back to what me say now. So me live is my father live. My father had 5 children, 5 girls, no boy. And my mother bad lucky, she don't have no brother, pure sister. So me keep my father name and me go keep it for the rest of my life. So me married again, but me not change my name to my husband name because me did have too much problem to change the first one, and me not to. And my husband respect me. When me tell him, say, me go keep my father name because my father, I believe that there now. So, me not go say nothing more now. That's why me vex with my best friend Rascal, my good friend, you know. But me and him quarrel and me not agree with him sometimes, you know, him big me up, me big him up, me tell him things and something. Remember one time me cuss him, tell me about, if a man don't have a boy, then he's not a complete man.
Yes,
You hear what me say?
I hear you loud and clear.
If a man don't have a boy child, is not a complete man.
That's somebody's opinion, obviously. Yes.
I understand. My father don't have no boy, but he is a man, and I don't think anyone have any better love than him, of course. And my mother never have no brother, and I can tell you, we leave it there.
One of our listeners is encouraging you to talk Norwegian to me.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, what can I see there? What can I see there?
What can you see, girl?
What can I see? I'm asking you what I'm supposed to say.
Oh, what can you see?
Okay, let me speak the Norwegian to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Scully I go. We still can see one.
Something about let's go?
I said, no, I'm gonna leave. We talk tomorrow.
Oh, say it again.
No Scully I go.
No Skelly I go.
We got to see morning.
We've got to see morning. So, no skylarking. We've got to see morning.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Yes. Good night. Okay, love you now.
Lots of love to you too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. And let's see, Morgan Baylor is having a good laugh. All the very best. Thank you very much. And let's go to Dalty. Well, let's go to the phone lines and come back with the other messages. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I'm shaping a few words with you. Quickly. Nothing pertaining to any fantasy. Now, I am a Jamaican, and I tell you the truth, see, quite a few years now, I feel a little more safer since the FLA coming and more law-abiding citizens getting firearms, right? Before then, it was dreadful. But I'm just saying this to say that I just want the government to comb through the human rights properly and do not put any more barriers around the firearm license where decent citizen concerned. Because you know something, I was at a nest over the weekend. About what? About 13 of us. And if I was a firearm holder, I would do the same. A lot of them that plan to bring in back the license, if they put more teeth around it in terms of law by the citizen, you have to go through too much this and that, right? And they are treating it as if it is a privilege, right? You have to be careful what you're doing, because to be honest, I remember once upon a time when the license was 1,000 a year, and they sent it up to about 12,000 since then, as if they was trying to keep it out of the hands of who. You can't raise license to keep out the hands of criminals. Criminals have money to buy anything you want. And the law by the citizen have hell to find $1,000 to pay a year time. And I want the government to look through it properly. Right? I'm very upset with it because a lot of people, decent people, have it, especially in my village. And I feel safer. And not one of them ever end up in any criminal activities over 20 odd years. Right? And they are planning now to turn it in the amount of the rig that you have to go through. Right? Every 3 years or whatever it is. Are you there?
I'm listening.
Yeah, man, we have to make life the best policies. We have to come with the best policies for our people, right? And don't make criminal elements cause you to lose your head and hand down judgment on decent people, right? It's the same thing JPS is doing, charging them more money, right? And call for money for those who thief in the light. And it is wrong. And we have to come together. We have to stitch together to get it right. And people will have to fix the world. Right? I feel upset about these bad policies that they are coming in with just because of the criminal element. We need to stop and comb through it properly. Else we don't want to get worse. Okay, Mr. Malcolm, thank you for listening.
Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. A few more messages pouring in. Dalton Mills says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Tuning in from Connecticut, otherwise known in America as Connecticut. Thanks for keeping us up to date with all topics in Jamaica and abroad. You're welcome, Dalton Mill. Thank you very much for tuning in. Seymour Barkley says, pleasant afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, listeners and fellow Jamaicans. Great things are happening for Jamaica on many fronts. We, the diaspora, will be tuned in to Prime Minister Holness' appearance on the Jamaica Let's Connect with Ambassador Marks, special edition featuring Prime Minister Holness, April 1, 2022, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Online event. Join Zoom meeting, password 846799. Thank you very much for your message. Seymour Barkley in Bermuda. Sophia Nemard is in Newell St. Elizabeth, checking in with us. Always good to have you on board, Sophia Nemard. Thank you very much. Let's go to the WhatsApp line now, 876-365-3346. Tons of messages. We'll do our best to go through. Let's go in date order. In fact, whoa, we have messages taking us back to Monday. Oh dear, let's do a quick scan and identify the ones that are pertinent to the program as we hop, skip, and jump over the others down the line. Andrew McPherson says, good afternoon, peace and love to all. Happy to listen to Power 106 one more day. Thank you, Andrew. Miss Olive in Portmore yesterday messaged us as well. We missed this one. Good day. It would be nice if the callers forget about politics for a day and focus and about the history of Port Royal. It's sad that you aren't broadcasting from the location. And so say all of us, and so said all of us yesterday, Miss Olive. Just didn't make any sense. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Regarding the Gleaner subscription, I don't hear or receive any as yet. Could you please find out what is happening? This is the part of prize giveaways that we don't like because there's usually some chink in the armor, as they say, and this, whoever's supposed to get whatever call and whatever benefit, it doesn't happen. All right, so we're going to send this message to Jesse Blake, our executive producer, to work it out. So that's what we're doing right now. And there we go. So we just sent your message to Jesse Blake, and no doubt he will work it out. Thank you very much. And that's from, was that Karine? I think that was Karine Campbell. Thank you very much for your message. Sorry to hear that it hasn't been worked out yet, but as we said, we've shared your details with Jesse Blake, and no doubt he'll work it out. H. Morgan says, hi, Dervan, good afternoon. Do you happen to know the telephone number for the Ministry of Finance? No. The one they have listed on their website is not working. In fact, I think you have raised this matter before, H. Morgan in Birmingham. I can't imagine the Ministry of Finance having a malfunctioning system and therefore people trying to call and not getting through. Let's check that out during the break.
And women were made to feel.
Importers, provide proper invoices for customs when presenting goods for examination. This could prevent delays during clearance. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. Come and gather with friends, family, and fellow followers of Jesus Christ. Come and feel peace through music and messages of Jesus Christ. Come and hear the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come and see what is possible because of Him.
Join us for General Conference on Sunday 3rd at 10:30 a.m. here on this station.
Change them who've gone astray and show them the way to mine. Make this an everlasting example.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We have a scheduled interview coming up. Just before we get into that interview, let's clear a few more messages. Precious in New Monkland, St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Port Royal is loaded with history. Jamaica on a whole is not short of history. Some time ago, we took groups of preschool children to Port Royal, and what fascinated them most was the Giddy House, a lovely place, not to mention the fish and bammy. Precious from St. Thomas. Thank you very much, Precious, for sharing your memories of Port Royal. Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon to Jamaica. Yes, Mr. Dervan, to Port Royal. Me and my friends used to go over there, and my grandmother always telling us to be careful when we go to swim, because war used to fight over there, and they used to shoot them big cannon guns. So they make like some big holes in the water. So you will be walking in the water and then just missing, fall down in one of them holes in the water and drown. Yeah, Port Royal, and we also did the Giddy House. My grandmother originally came from St. Thomas up by Bath. This is Lloyd in Philadelphia. Thank you, Lloyd in Philadelphia. These are a couple of leftover stories and messages from yesterday's Port Royal special. Lorna says, hi, Uncle Dervan. I went on the ferry twice when the Dulles ship was over there. Okay. Thank you very much for your messages. We're going down the line trying to get current right now in terms of getting closer to messages that are relevant to what's happening now. Who is this now? Diana McIntyre Pike says, I'm disappointed that the Ministry of Tourism is not including us in their community tourism development. From April, they contracted George Washington University. We're trying to meet with Minister Bartlett. Read this, and we'll keep you posted. And another bit of the message. Good morning, Dervan. We wish to have more collaboration in Jamaica, which is well needed with community tourism. At some point, we would like you to organize a forum on this. I will let you know when is a good time, says Diana McIntyre Pike. Well, we're sorry to hear of whatever issues you're having right now with respect to working with the government on the matter of community tourism. All right, feel free to keep us posted on those matters, Diana McIntyre Pike. Thank you very much for your indulgence. We're going to speak now with Robert Hendricks and Peter Scudamore of the Jehovah's Witness denomination. And that's because they continue to evolve. COVID-19 has impacted all of us in every sector, every sphere, every area of life, not least of all Jehovah's Witnesses. And so this afternoon, Robert Hendricks and Peter Scudamore are going to give us an update on how things have been going. We have been speaking with them during the pandemic. I think we spoke before, during, and now we're speaking with them again just to get an update on how things have been. And so, good afternoon, Robert Hendricks. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dervan. Nice to hear your voice again.
Same here, and welcome, Peter Scudamore.
Hi, Sir Dervan. Good to be with you again.
Good to have you on board. Thank you very much. So, Robert Hendricks, how have those virtual meetings impacted the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses?
Well, I think you said it in your intro. We can just leave it at that, but we won't. It's just affected everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've always been a very public organization. We've always been very outward facing, inviting everybody to our meetings. We have public meetings. We never have a collection, inviting everybody to our conventions, knocking on people's doors, being cart witnessing in the various areas around Jamaica and really around the world. And all of that stopped, as you know. But the good news is that we look back in the last 2 years and we really feel like we've been so productive. We feel happy and joyful and amazingly more united than we've ever been. And I think it's really a function of what Jesus said about his disciples. He said they would have love among themselves. And the love that has been shown over the last 2 years, we have shown love to each other in a different way, in new ways. We show love to our neighbors in new ways. And love brings peace. Peace unites. Paul said love is a perfect bind of union. And we feel like that's happened to us. We go into post-pandemic, hopefully post-pandemic life, not the same, but better and more united than ever, I think.
Yes, and we the hope is that we will truly be able to say post at some point, because this thing doesn't seem to want to leave us at all. But what is the status then of your worship exercises? Are you back? I mean, in terms of the congregation, have you returned, or have you been giving yourselves a little more time away from the face to face before going back into that formation?
Well, as of today, all of our kingdom halls around the world are closed for meetings, and basically for the most part over the last 2 years, that has been the case.
Mm-hmm.
We have not reopened them, except for, and we can talk about this in a moment if you'd like, our pilot meetings where we piloted for a few weeks, hybrid meetings. But other than that, we've been closed. However, this is very timely because as of Friday, April 1, we will begin to, around the world, be seeing our brothers and sisters once again in person in most places that don't have government restrictions. And we'll be certainly looking forward to that. So we are actually starting up our in-person meetings this weekend here in Jamaica.
Oh, lovely. And for you, Peter Scudamore, what will this mean to you and all the other witnesses as far as this returning to in-person worship in your congregation is concerned?
Well, Dervan, as Robert mentioned, before we were having the meetings virtually. So in terms of our spirituality and getting the encouragement from the scriptures, it never stopped. We didn't miss a beat. But, that was virtual. And as good as it was, we are excited at the prospect of coming back together in person in all of the 152 congregations here in Jamaica, come this weekend.
My goodness, I didn't realize it was that many. Did you tell us that number before? I think it's the first time hearing a number.
Yes, well, yes, there are 152.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly 12,000, little less than 12,000 Jehovah's Witnesses in Jamaica.
Yes.
And just to give you an idea,
yes,
I mean, during the pandemic, on average, we had over 16,500 each week in attendance on the virtual platform.
Remarkable.
So going back now, measures have been put in place because, as you rightly said, the pandemic is still here.
Mm-hmm.
So there are going to be protocols and it will be a hybrid. So individuals that have to be at home, they can view the meeting on the virtual platform. And Robert will sort of go into what we have arranged that makes it so unique that we can have our worship both virtual and in person. But we are really looking forward. It's been 2 years
We have some new congregants that have never been to the Kingdom Hall because they have studied the Bible, been baptized, all without going in person. So we look forward to meet all these new ones and to see our friends face to face.
Sounds like it will be one grand coming together. So then, Robert Hendricks, what impact do you expect on your congregations with the return to in-person meetings?
I think my first thought is joy. Paul wrote to the Roman congregation who he was longing to see, and he told them that, I'm longing to see you. And he wanted to impart a spiritual gift to them. But then he said, but let there be an interchange of encouragement. So I think that will be the case. I do think, Dervan, these have been 2 hard years.
Yes.
We've been busy, we've been productive, but we've also had sick ones. We've also had those who have died among our brothers and sisters. We've lost loved ones. We've lost the way, the pre-pandemic way of doing things. We have gotten more anxious. I know that my mom and dad, spending some time with them right now, and they're going to their meeting. And of course, they're 80 years old, and they want to go back. They've been doing this all of their lives, but there's a certain level of anxiety. There's joy, but there's a level of anxiety, and we kind of lost our innocence in that way, haven't we?
Yes.
And so there's sadness when you look back, but also proud that we have gone through this together, and we're stronger for it as individuals and as a congregation, and worldwide, but also locally. And I think you look at the advantage of keeping congregations small. About 12,000 in Jamaica, and 16,000 coming to meetings. But really, that's spread among all of those congregations, and we were able to keep in touch with people, able to show them that we love them, able to distribute their needs. When we had food, we distributed to them. When they had personal needs, we did that. And I think you come out of this with a greater appreciation for the brotherhood that we have. And when we see each other, I think we'll express that. I think those who feel comfortable, and I saw this down in Puerto Rico when we did our hybrid meetings, we had the privilege of being there for pilot meetings in November when Omicron was down, vaccinations in one county were very high, the infection rate was almost at nothing. And we decided for a few weeks to see how can you do these hybrid meetings and be productive. Because Jehovah's Witnesses don't just stream a meeting out. That's not how we roll, right? Because we don't want our congregants to just see us and hear us. We don't talk at them, we talk with them. We don't just see them, we see each other. And that's why Zoom was so important for us. But in order to create a hybrid meeting, you really have to have technology in place. You have to have policies and guidelines in place. And I think over the course of a few weeks around the world, we try to look at ways that we can make it productive. And so I think as we return, and we have perhaps 70% coming and 30% at home who have chosen not to come, we will embrace all of them. And we could not do that 2 years ago. So we look at that as a silver lining. Really, we do.
Yes. One moment. We need to take a break, gentlemen. Listeners, we're speaking with Robert Hendricks and Peter Scudamore they are members of the Jehovah Witness faith, and they've been giving us an update. One of the organizations we've been in touch with, one of the churches we've been in touch with before COVID, during COVID, and even now, even as COVID in some instances appears to be I'm being careful how I say it, but even now, let's just say even at this stage, we still have a lot of work to do in more ways than one. That work continues. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor AgriCare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor AgriCare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
And show them the way to mine.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, the story of the Jehovah's Witnesses, not just here in Jamaica, but globally, how they've been responding to the exigencies of COVID-19 and related matters. And we are grateful for the participation of Robert Hendricks and Peter Scudamore of the Jehovah's Witnesses faith here in Jamaica and the world. And so that representation of Jamaica and the world in terms of what has happened within the last couple of weeks with the so-called reopening and going back to as close to normal as possible. How common is this the approach that is being taken now to COVID-19 across the globe, where I believe Robert Hendricks, there are about 8.7 million adherents, 8.7 million witnesses across the world?
That's right, exactly. We have about 120,000 congregations, and we have many more who are congregants who come and are meeting attenders. So we, as Peter said, in excess of some 4,000 who are meeting attenders but not Jehovah's Witnesses here in Jamaica. The same is true in the United States. Almost 300,000 meeting attenders, more than there are Jehovah's Witnesses. So we have a pretty large community, 8.7 million around the world, and what we recognize that people, our branches around the world, and there's 87 of them, they know what's best in their area. They know the governmental regulations in their area. They know what's going on. So they'll make good local decisions. But the organization has basically said, where you can, have this meeting in person. And I think that there's not a feeling that we're post-pandemic, certainly not. Mm-hmm. But there is a feeling that we know this disease a lot better than we used to, right? We understand that this disease does not have to kill. We have, in most places in the world, in many places anyway, certainly in around where we are, we have generally available vaccines that are very effective. People can choose to take them or not. We know that masks work. We know that it's an airborne disease, but we all know that not all masks are created equal. So we can make a choice with that, a personal choice with that. There's therapeutics out there. And finally, with us, what we're doing is we're not saying come to the Kingdom Hall. We're saying make a choice. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, we're actually offering that choice to our congregants. We want to see you either on Zoom or in person. Make that choice. Make the best personal choice for you that makes you feel safe and that will help you to grow physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And that's what we're asking folks to do, and to take that personal responsibility on themselves now.
And clearly, Peter Scudamore, the decision by the Jamaican government would have been taken into account as you made the decision with respect to reopening the doors of your institutions.
Yes, Dervan, that is very true. You know, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we're very mindful and respectful of the government regulations. And in Jamaica, there were restrictions, although we had actually ceased our in-person meetings even before the government had called for it. And likewise, even when the government had given the go-ahead to open up, we did not immediately follow suit, even though illegally we could. As Robert said, we had to check things out, see how we could deliver our content in a safe and reasonable manner. And now our congregants have the opportunity of coming in person and also still getting the benefits of the program virtually. And all of the Kingdom halls are being equipped to handle this.
Well, that's where I want to go next. Yes,
Okay.
in terms of the safety protocols and the mechanisms that are now in place that obviously perhaps would not have been in place before. Can you give us a sense of how that is being rolled out, Robert Hendricks?
Yeah, so earlier last year, sometime during the year, we actually put together new guidelines for sanitizing of Kingdom halls before and after the meeting, and even during the meeting. We put together protocols on also touchless faucets, sanitizing stations, the types of microphones that we use, because our meetings are discussion based, so we use microphones, and now we're not going to allow folks to touch the microphone. It'll be on a boom. Those small improvements will assist. We've also encouraged, and we'll make this announcement at each meeting. We've already made this announcement to all of our congregants, and at every meeting, the beginning of every meeting, we'll let them know that we're encouraging mask wearing. And I think that when we first did that in Puerto Rico for the pilot meetings, the test meetings, it kind of was like, oh, how is this going to work out? How are we going to sing? How are we going to feel like we can see each other and there are expressions? And I have to tell you, the anxiety faded away very quickly when people got in the hall, when they started crying, when they heard each other sing. It really did not detract from the experience. So we're encouraging mask wearing. And of course, Jehovah's Witnesses have been very forward about vaccines and how it is a personal choice, but it is also in line with our Bible principles. We love life, it's sacred, and we love our neighbor. And vaccines have proven to be in line with those principles, and many Jehovah's Witnesses have chosen to take the vaccine.
I see. And so now we come to the point of it means that you now have members within your witnesses in the Kingdom halls who have duties or will have duties that they didn't have before. Is that a part of the new experience?
Oh, yes. And in fact, if you went out and took a drive right now, I would venture to say in some Kingdom hall, you're going to see folks who are getting it ready right now. And yes, there's a protocol. There are protocols now, and there's those who are responsible for those protocols who have been meeting and are putting those guidelines in place as we speak, and then will be responsible for doing that at each meeting. Those are just the types of things that probably will be a legacy of this pandemic that will never go away from. And as a result, it'll ultimately be a healthier place to meet.
Yes, no question about that. And Peter Scudamore, as we wrap, for those who perhaps are unfamiliar with the Jehovah's Witness faith, what would you like them to know about Jehovah's Witnesses and how you generally relate?
Well, Jehovah's Witnesses love people, and we love our God, Jehovah. And that is why we engage in our public ministry, to help people to come into that good relationship with our Creator and how they can make a better life for themselves now by following His guidance and knowing His wonderful hope for mankind for the future. And Dervan, I just want to mention, our coming back together now is at a very appropriate time,
because we're going to have the opportunity to be together for two special events. One is a special talk, which will be heard most places on April 10th. Where can you find real hope? You know, hope is something that is lacking in the world in general.
Yes.
And it is something that people need, that they can have something positive to look forward to. And we encourage everyone to come to join us, either in person or virtually. Where can you find real hope? And then, more importantly, come April 15th, we're going to be celebrating or observing the memorial of Jesus' death, which is the most important occasion in the year that we should commemorate Jesus' death, given as a ransom in our behalf. So all of these will now be available virtually and in person. And we want to encourage your listeners to join us. They can go to jw.org, where they can get all the information concerning that, other resources pertaining to the pandemic, and other wonderful information. And I have to just mention by saying, too, that in jw.org, it's available in over 1,000 languages, not the least of which is our own Jamaican patois, which has been done, a lot of work has been done on that.
And I wonder if you have worked with Robert Hendricks to help him with the Jamaican patois.
I wish but Dervan, I'm supposed to be coming next year for the memorial, so I'm going to practice all up until then, and maybe I'll give the whole talk in patois.
We look forward to that. Thank you both.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people would, actually.
Yes. That's good. Well, thank you both very much for spending some time with us this afternoon on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And we look forward to speaking with you again in the very near future. Well done to you in how you and your congregants have managed these turbulent 3 years now. Well done.
Thank you very much, Dervan. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Same here. Thank you. Take care. Robert Hendricks and Peter Scudamore of the Jehovah's Witnesses Faith here in Jamaica and indeed the world, representing Jamaica and the world. We are going to take another break in just a moment. I thought we'd share that bit of update with you, trying to do more of these follow-ups. Sometimes we do these initial interviews and we never get around to following up. How did that work out? How is that working out? How is that coming on? And we had that opportunity just now. And we thank Peter Scudamore and Robert Hendricks for helping us in that regard. And perhaps it's an example of how other churches have been responding to these times of COVID-19. But we'll continue to follow up. Thank you very much. Let's come back with much more in just a moment, right here on your program, Both Sides of the Story.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Come and gather with friends, family, and fellow followers of Jesus Christ. Come and feel peace through music and messages of Jesus Christ. Come and hear the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Come and see what is possible because of Him.
Join us for General Conference on Sunday 3rd at 10:30 a.m. here on this station.
Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony here on the Lord's side.
We pray, Jaman, have mercy on a good girl and help her. We pray, Jaman. Man was made to suffer, yeah, and women were made to feel the pain.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4 heures de Cienzai. TDN le CDN Liang Ar Fen. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And hello to Natalie Winter. She says, good afternoon all to you too, Natalie Winter. Thank you very much. Karine Campbell says, Mr. Malcolm, could you explain the difference between PROGRAM and PROGRAMME? Pretty simple. PROGRAMME is English. PROGRAM is American. That's it. MME, for if you're writing in English. AM, if you are writing American. So PROGRAMME is British. PROGRAM is American. Hope you got that, Karine. It's a matter of choice. If you decide that English is the language, then you go with the English spelling. If you're in an American setting, it's another story. Good. Davina James, good afternoon to you. How are you? Good to see you. Hello to David Chen. David Chen says, blessings from St. Thomas, Jamaica, Paradise View. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, David Chen, for sharing with us. Also, Sophia Nemad from Newell in St. Elizabeth is messaging us. In fact, she has sent us a couple of messages. And in this one, she simply says agape, which means, or well, depends on which one we're talking about. Agape is AGAPE. Agape, that's Christian love, as distinct from erotic love or simple affection. So agape is Christian love. AGAPE. That's one meaning. It's spelled the same way, but here's another meaning for it now, except that the pronunciation is different. Pronunciation is different. So it's the same AGAPE, but you don't say agape, you say agape. Agape, which refers to a person's mouth as being wide open. It's agape. wide open in surprise or wonder. Right. Thank you very much, Sophia Nemard. She says, looking forward to the memorial and the special talk. And looks like Sophia is a witness as well. Good afternoon, brothers, she says, in greeting Robert Hendricks and Peter Scudamore. And let's see, Golden Brown says, happy Wednesday to all on board. Happy Wednesday to you too, Golden Brown. Thank you very much. Keep those messages coming in, and we'll try our best to clear them as they come in. Sean is greeting us as usual. Thank you very much for staying in touch. We're trying not to have so many leftover messages. We're trying to clear them. Barbara Babsy Rowe. Oh, this one was meant for Mr. Crosskill. So we'll just send it to the Power 106 WhatsApp so that Simon can respond at some point. No doubt other messages will overtake the message that I just sent to the Power 106 WhatsApp line. But at some point, perhaps you'll get it. Geneva has sent us a voice note. We haven't had the chance to listen to the voice note. But there's a message from yesterday from Geneva saying, good afternoon, teacher. I've learned something new about Fern Gully. I'm having a hard time with these goat farmers. They don't care. The government needs to set a law against them. They ruined my farm just now. Ballards Valley, Hampstead, in Hampstead, St. Mary, was Tacky's hideout. I understand. Please shed some light on it, please. I'll have to read some more on that one. Tacky's hideout, not sure. We'll check on that one. DK Duncan went to school there, would like his son Keith Duncan to do something there. Can you help me reach him? Well, you just need to call JMMB and you're good to go. And this one's, and she goes on to say, still need to reach Dr. Oliver Samuels. We need some life for the youths in our neck of the woods. Sounds like you perhaps might want to get together with the members of your community council or committee. Sounds like that is what is needed at the community level, going through what the areas of concern are and coming up with ideas and making connections. There are people in the community who would, at one way or another, be able to give you a lead to reaching someone like Oliver Samuels, for example. So Geneva, still some work to do in that regard. And this one, did we read this one yesterday? Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Tuesday to you and your listeners. Our Citizens Association from Hunstown visited Port Royal on more than one occasion. We have learned a lot from those visits. Port Royal still maintains much of its independence as well as its heritage. There's still a strong seafaring tradition. Port Royal, a virtual archaeological gold mine filled with pieces of history. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. And his message today is, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Wednesday to you and your listeners. I am saddened by the news of the killing of Tabby Diamond, lead singer for the legendary Jamaican reggae group, the Mighty Diamonds, and also Owen Beckford. Condolences to their families. May their souls rest in peace and light perpetual shine on them. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. We join you in conveying similar sentiments. And we see maybe this is the reason why we didn't have the pleasure of the company of Mr. Littleton Tanny Shirley just about a week ago when we featured St. Thomas, because we're seeing now a flyer published by the Factories Corporation of Jamaica Limited, inviting, well, it's a general invitation to attend the Morant Bay Urban Center Town Hall meeting. People of St. Thomas, here is your opportunity to let your voice be heard. Thursday, the 7th of April, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Old Goodyear Factory in Morant Bay, St. Thomas. The Morant Bay Urban Center Town Hall meeting organized by the Factories Corporation of Jamaica. Eunice Beckford and the other community team members, no doubt, will be present. We have no doubt about that. And this one says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. We're so disappointed today as Power 106 is not coming through in Discovery Bay. Today is my wife's 77th birthday. This message came in yesterday. And I wanted so much for her to allow me to wish her, for you to allow me to wish her a happy birthday and ask you kindly to play our favorite song, Heavy on the Sunshine by the Spinners, for her. We have been happily married for 40 years. Maybe tomorrow. In the meantime, please report to your technician. Thank you in advance. This message is from Walter Banks, husband of Beverly Banks. So you're getting it belatedly. Beverly Banks, from your husband, Walter Banks. Thank you, Mr. Malcolm. You're back on the air. God bless, says Walter Banks in a fresh message. Another one, good day, Dervan. We have a high incidence of violence in the country as a result of childhood trauma and undiagnosed mental health issues. This is something we've been talking about on this program for a long time. You're perfectly right. You're spot on. Remember, we've been saying that we have a lot of traumatized people in this country. And we've also been saying hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Yes, you're spot on. Thank you very much for your message. James in East London has shared with us some of the stories doing the rounds in the UK, like only 2,700 visas granted under UK's Homes for Ukraine scheme and other stories. Thank you, James in East London, for sharing. Eureka says, hi, Dervan. Collectively, we in Jamaica receives approximately $4 billion in remittances from the diaspora annually. I do form part of the diaspora who sends funds to Jamaica, or who send funds to Jamaica. My question is, how would we decide on the person to sit in the Senate? We have a minimum number of sittings for the Senate. If the person is otherwise engaged, wouldn't they be ruled, I beg your pardon, wouldn't they be required to abide by such rules? I'm not sure such a person would be able to serve effectively. Are there any countries that has such policy? If the argument is only on the premise that we get remittances from the diaspora, does that mean the seat will be filled by the highest bidder? LOL. Seriously, why are we majoring in the minor stuff? By the way, I strongly believe we should not go the direction of a member from the diaspora sitting in the Senate, because that opening could lead to another opportunity for corruption or influenced in terms of voting, which could make us worse off, and they are not held accountable, says Eureka. One moment, please.
Man was made to suffer. Get high-quality blinds and beautiful windows, drapes, and wooden flooring from Sam the Blind Man, 40 Barnett Street, Montego Bay. The time by Sam the Blind Man is 4:15. Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor Agricare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor Agricare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Y ahora es en español, son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. Tiens, TDN le. Si dien shi liao fen. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Thank you very much for your messages, still pouring out. Right, Eureka, to your message. Yeah, it's all basically majoring in the minor. We have a good thing going, as we keep saying, as far as Jamaica and her diaspora are concerned. And we should just continue to build incrementally and smartly on that foundation, plain and simple. However, that is manifested down the road, so be it. But we have a good thing going, and we must continue to build. Let's move on. Some more messages. Let's go to Cuban in Georgia, saying, what's he saying now? Sir Malcolm, the man had a terrible experience with the earth swallowing him and spitting him out immediately. Oh my, that place was haunted city back then, in reference to Port Royal. And Sir Malcolm, I used to take the ferry every Sunday to the site and spend the entire family spend the time with family picnic. What is taking place with regard to the new cruise ship pier terminal in Port Royal, and can we get an update on that project, please and thanks? Well, because of the impact of COVID on cruise shipping, there has been a bit of a lull. For how long, that remains to be seen. If we hear anything, we will share the information with you. Cuban in Georgia. Then he says, current message. Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I'm asking why the Prime Minister going to Washington to beg again, sir. We don't know that the Prime Minister is going to Washington to beg. The diaspora has more credibility than those people. And does the head of state of Jamaica, living in Jamaica, and remember now what the British has done to Black people? The Jamaicans in the diaspora are not violence producers as those living there in Jamaica. So it's unfair to deny the diaspora to help, because Washington is not going to do anything to help Jamaica. Sir Malcolm, I heard Princess Williams Who's that? Or did you mean Prince William? Praising the Jamaica motto. Sir Malcolm, it's a colonial relic. That's the main reason for him praising it. And moreover, our motto doesn't mean anything specific. And that's your interpretation, Cuban in Georgia. It's quite plain what the motto says, which is not far removed from the American motto, which is a pluribus unum, in the same line as out of many, one. Errol in Spanish Town says, hi, Dervan, good day. Condolences to the families of Rory and Mr. Diamond. It's a sad day. Dervan, I'm seriously wondering if we can have a democracy while trying to curb this vicious crime problem. I have noticed the countries with an autocratic leadership don't seem to have a crime problem. I don't know, but something drastically has to be done, says Errol in Spanish Town. Ren Mendez says, Sir D, after listening to that fellow about the gun license, I personally hope that they raise the fee to $5,000 per year. What we need to do is to remove the guns from our beloved country. So-called legal and illegal guns need to go. I believe if you have a gun, the intention is to use it. Ren Mendez in Toronto. Sounds like Japan would be your ideal place then, Ren Mendez, in terms of Japan. Their gun laws date back hundreds of years. I'm trying to remember. I read about that some time ago. And so it's very hard to get a gun permit in Japan. Very hard and long. Yeah. Maybe we could examine their situation and see what we can learn from them. Let's go to another of the messages. Let's go down the line quickly. Hello, Mr. Dervan. Long time me don't text you. Who is this now? Not sure who it is, but good afternoon to you. And it's good to hear from you again. Thank you very much. All the very best. Thank you. And another one here. Franklin MacDonald in Canada has shared with us, better must come, the past and promise of progressive politics. For your information, since your listeners seem interested, he says, so this is Franklin MacDonald, formerly of the National Environment and Planning Agency. These days he lives in Canada and he keeps in touch with us. All right. Thank you very much. We'll check it out, Mr. MacDonald. Thank you very much for sharing that bit of information with us here on both sides of the story. Karine Campbell is asking, any latest on Ukraine and Russia? She says, this is really having a significant impact on our pockets. And Rosie C says, good afternoon, Dervan. Condolences to the family of Pat Wright. She was such a fighter, a true inspiration. Oh, dear. This one is new to me. I didn't realize that. That's another one. Oh, dear. Condolences. We join you in conveying condolences. Oi. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm very concerned about the wanton stealing of the drivers on the JUTC and how boldly they are. And it is every day at times from they leave the terminus, no ticket. I'm wondering if they are not going to do something about it until they mash up the system. The numbers are 3232B, 3099, 97. Don't send my number to them, please. And why are you sharing the information with us? We need more information. This is not specific enough. This is not specific enough. We need information, the bus, if you have the registration plates. Well, you have some numbers here, but what time of day? That would be useful information if you're really serious about helping the investigators at the JUTC to catch them in the act. So you please see if you can send us some more information, Andreen. More information would help. It has to be more specific than that. The moment you are in an area, wherever the area is, take a note of the area and check your time, your watch or your cell phone, and make a note of the time and the place. And these buses, I think, are supposed to have tracking devices on them as well. So that could give you an idea. That's what we would suggest at this stage. If you're not giving us all the information, then it's not going to be useful. Because we want to be able to forward the information with the requisite details so that the JUTC team can get on top of it right away. Precious in New Monkland says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Any update? That's on what now? Update on what, Precious? Not sure what you're referring to there. In the meantime, hello to the members of the McNeish family. Came across a bit of your history here. If your name is McNeish, you might be related to Charles McNeish, who was buried on this day in 1829. Charles McNeish, a Jamaican, died on March 25 at Penhill House, Clifton, Bristol, in the UK. He died leaving a wife and 10 children. Good afternoon to the McNeish family. If this was a piece of the puzzle of your genealogy and your general family heritage that was missing, we're happy to share it with you. 1867, the governor of Jamaica at the time, Sir John Peter Grant, visited Falmouth on this day in 1867, but he didn't receive as warm a reception from the town's high society as had Governor Edward Eyre, whom they favored. It is very likely that Sir John Peter Grant was seen as part of the machinery which had brought about Governor Edward Eyre's disgrace and his near indictment for murder over the death of George William Gordon, now national hero. So you're getting some insights there because this is one of those names that is usually called Governor Edward Eyre because of his involvement in the Morant Bay Rebellion. Resident Magistrate Joyce Groves was featured on the front page of the Gleaner on this day in 1962. Joyce Groves was the second woman to be appointed a resident magistrate in Jamaica. The first woman was Mrs. Collymore Woodstock. The first woman to be appointed a resident magistrate was Mrs. Collymore Woodstock. The second woman was Joyce Groves. One moment, please.
Man was made to suffer. Yeah.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Manage your waste and save. Learn more about various wastewater systems for farms and residential use, assistance in getting NEPA licenses, and monitoring and characterization of your wastewater. Tune in to Real Business this and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Manage Your Waste and Save. Brought to you by the Scientific Research Council Wastewater Management Services. Environmentally conscious, responsive, and solution-oriented. That's Manage Your Waste and Save. Listen to every Tuesday at 10 a.m. during Real Business right here on Power 106 FM. Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor AgriCare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor AgriCare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点cha shi jiao fen. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. Good time to go back into the archives and see what we found. In 1962, the Legislative Council met at 11 o'clock on this day in 1962 to deal with the government's carrying on budget of nearly £16 million for the first 4 months of the new financial year. The council also debated through all its stages the government's amendment to the electric lighting law to give the Minister of Trade and Industry power to fix maximum rates for electricity in all areas of the island. It is understood that the Honorable Edwin Allen, who was the JLP candidate for Northwest Clarendon in the general election on April 10, would seek to move the adjournment of the council today, on this day, 1962, to call attention to charges of bribery in the coming elections, particularly in respect of the government housing schemes. So bribery charges from as far back as 1962 in the coming, at the time, the upcoming elections, 1962, 60 years ago. 1992, Percival James Patterson took the oath of office administered by Governor General Sir Howard Cook at King's House on this day in 1992. A year later, in 1993, the People's National Party, PNP, was re-elected on this day in 1993 with P.J. Patterson as Prime Minister. 2002, the Queen Mother died on this day in 2002. Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon was the Queen Consort of King George VI from 1936 until her husband's death in 1952, after which she was known as Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, to avoid confusion with her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II. She was the last Queen Consort of Ireland and Empress Consort of India, and so on and so forth. 2006, on this day in 2006, Prime Minister P.J. Patterson officially handed over the reins to Prime Minister-designate Portia Simpson Miller, who won the People's National Party's PNP presidential race on February 25, making her the first female leader and Prime Minister of Jamaica. 2020, health worker tests positive. COVID cases rise to 36. Unions appeal to docs, nurses, patriotism against heading to US. That was the lead story on the front page of the Gleaner this time on this day in 2020. Also, hotel, school lockdowns slash JPS revenues. Yeah, the JPS was making less money during lockdowns or during that period, apparently. And also, cops charge man for lockdown hoax. So we'll leave it there for now. Some items out of the archives. Every now and then somebody says, whatever did happen to so-and-so? Or how we didn't hear anything more about so-and-so? And what year was it that so-and-so happened? Yeah, that's the reason why we share these bits and pieces of information on a daily basis or as often as we can. Precious in New Monkland, we in St. Thomas, we'll have to listen. We haven't had the opportunity to listen to your voice note just yet. We will try perhaps in the next break. But in the meantime, thank you very much for your message, your voice note, and your earlier message as well. And we look forward to sharing more information and more updates according to what you're asking for. So, for example, the Barbados-based Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum today said a persistent weak La Nina pattern is expected to continue during the next 3 months, which may drive increasing uncertainty into the seasonal rainfall forecast. Now, that has implications. That has implications for us. Let me see. The Barbados-based Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum. So let's remind ourselves that La Nina is Spanish for the, well, a female child, La Nina. But in meteorological terms, it's a climate pattern that describes the cooling of surface ocean waters along the tropical west coast of South America. La Nina is considered to be the counterpart of El Nino, which is characterized by unusually warm ocean temperatures in the equatorial region of the Pacific Ocean. And this uncertainty, we're told, points to the rainfall and wet day forecast towards climatology across most of the region, with equal chances for above normal, normal, and below normal probabilities. In other words, any number can play under this system, La Nina. Any number can play. It could be, and apparently we won't necessarily have the clues as to being able to properly say, all right, this is what is going to happen, or not that we've ever had that kind of, well, we have to some extent had that kind of certainty insofar as the meteorological technology allows. But as it stands now, it could be chances for above normal, normal, and below normal probabilities. That's what the experts are saying. Extreme wet spells for the region, for example, are expected along coastal Guyana. Just trying to find Jamaica on the list here to see. Not seeing Jamaica on the list at the moment, but there's news that a shorter term drought has developed in Antigua, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent, with moderate longer term drought developing in northwest Bahamas, western Cuba, Dominica, southeastern the Dominican Republic, Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, etc. But not seeing Jamaica. So how are we to take that? I don't know. How are we to respond? Do we just say it's the other Caribbean islands, so it is what it is? Or do we pay attention? The Met Office could tell us. What is this again about another stabbing in a school? The 15-year-old Petersfield High School girl stabbed during a fight with another this morning has now been released from a hospital where she was being treated for her injuries. There's this tendency, and it's not unique to Jamaica, sort of a copycat response to events as unfolding at a particular time in a particular place, etc. There's a tendency for us to have multiples afterwards for whatever reason. I don't know, but this is not good. This can't be good. Is this all that we're going to be doing? Stabbing each other? Where does that leave us? But then again, this is what the children have been seeing around them. This is how they see adults around them seemingly dealing with whatever issues they have. Stab up somebody, chop somebody, shoot somebody. Oh, do we have a lot of work to do? Really, we really do. This is serious. We have a lot of work to do. There are a lot of children to be saved. A lot of children to be saved. And all right, let's go to this caller who goes by the name Bunty, who has been trying to reach us, calling us on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, a pleasant good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
And the listeners also.
Thank you on their behalf.
Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
I need to ask one and few questions, and I'm not a dictator, and to pretend what I'm being seen around us, okay? But parents should take responsibility of their children, not the government. They might have a role to play, but parents must take responsibility for their children's action.
And where the parents are failing, the rest of us have to do what, especially those of us who are educators and social workers, etc.
Mr. Malcolm, it's like with your time or my time when I can give an eye on your child or you give eye on my child.
Yeah, but as Bob Dylan sings, the times they are a-changing. And they have been changing, not for the better in some respects.
But worse, for the Bible, even tell us from bad to worse. And now we're warning for 100 years. How many people did take heed? So, 8. Another point I want to raise. When certain things take place in certain area or community, and there's some man's the police, what they had the helicopter they were up in camp doing, or the police on the ground doing, they should call off that area and do a terror search left to right, nobody in, nobody out. So the commissioner and the minister should have an idea about that. Don't you feel so?
Well, the minister is not supposed to get involved in operational matters when it comes to the police and the army.
What don't you have to give instruction?
From a policy standpoint, the minister is responsible for policy and giving an idea of what the policy direction is with respect to national security. But in terms of operations on the ground, operations, they're not supposed, the minister is not supposed to have any part in that.
So, Mr. Malcolm, let me say something. As a decent citizen, right? And you are the commander.
Hold a moment, please. One moment. We need to take a commercial break.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Sipa Copa.
Sipa Copa?
Yes, Sipa Copa.
Sipa Copa what?
Sipa Copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags. Sipa Copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa Copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa Copper today, you'll be happy you did.
Distributed by Caramel Group Limited.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor AgriCare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor AgriCare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
Yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Have mercy on a good man and help him. We pray to man. Have mercy.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 13, que la retire en français les 5 heures moins 13. 现在提点了5点cha shi san fen. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I don't have a PhD, but I'm telling you this. Jamaican as a whole, and not even no Jamaican out the universe, they must read their Bible, Revelation 12:9, 1 John 5:19, and don't blame government for what's going on in the society, right? Jamaica is a peaceful, loving people, and only because when the adversary get loose and demanded most of the young people them. That's why we have so much killing it, stabbing up in the school and all that, even in the home. Even in the home, people don't recognize that. So the PhD people, they must read them Bible and understand what is going on. You can't blame the politician for everything going on. They need to discipline their children and take action. Look at the police force right now. How many of them they hold what they in wrongdoing? They should put them before the flying squad right away for them find them guilty. Only so we can have a better society.
We hear you loud and clear.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, it's so it goes. And I'll leave it at that. And you have a pleasant evening and you be strong and take care.
You too. Thank you. All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And we still didn't get to listen to Precious's message. Lloyd says, good evening, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon, Lloyd. Good afternoon, Jamaica. He says, Mr. Dervan, Jano, Jagad no Rasta. Sir D, I'm so sad. The youth them kill one of my elders. And that's in reference to the lead singer of the Mighty Diamonds, Tabby Diamond. He is my big man friend, says Lloyd in Philadelphia. Anytime I'm coming to Jamaica, I always link with him. We chit chat, laughing and talking about enough things. I remember when I was a little youth, he used to always look out for all the youths in and around the place. Humble man. He don't even talk hard. Last night, one of my big man friend called me and tell me, come condolence goes out to the family, which is, I know, real good. Sad, sad, sad man. This is him and one of my playmates who we grew up together with, and he has sent us up the picture. We join you in conveying condolences, Lloyd, in Philadelphia. Patriotic Jamaican says, Mr. Malcolm, every time some criminal or murderous activity takes place in Jamaica, and I hear someone say this is not unique to Jamaica or this happens everywhere, it just sounds to me like an excuse for bad behavior. No, a fact is a fact is a fact. If it's a fact, then it is a fact. And someone pointing to something that happens elsewhere is not to take away from what's happening at the original point. A story of life, a story of life, and we can't. The, there is there is so much technology now and so many ways of communicating and sharing that every in a manner of speaking, everybody knows what is happening everywhere, and therefore that is going to be included in the local discourse, even if it happened a million or 100 million or a billion miles away. It's the way of the world. That's where we are right now. Let's continue. Just before I think we missed a call or two from Sean. Sorry about that. Feel free to call back. Although we're near to wrapping right now. David G.A. Dixon says, good day, Dervan. I'm hoping to be at the special talk and the memorial this year. My parents would have attended, but they have both passed now. They were members of the Duhaney Congregation of Jehovah Witness. Thank you for sharing. Now we know. Now we know. Thank you very much for sharing. And your parents would be delighted to know that you are carrying on. You're carrying on the legacy of their connection with the Jehovah's Witnesses faith. Thank you very much. We missed that call again. We're not sure what's happening. Sean he keeps calling and the call then disconnects. Sorry about that. Not sure I don't think it's on our end, because we can see the call coming in and then we select answer and then it disappears. Sorry about that. Kirk MacD says, good afternoon, Dervan Malcolm. So true about the copycat event. I did learn about that in my sociology class back in college and how it affects children and people in society. Yes, indeed, Kirk. Yes, indeed. That's how it happens. That's how it goes. We're seeing some of our, who is this? Dwayne Dice. Good afternoon to you. We're seeing you online. Thank you very much. And Charma Stone is also online. Thank you very much for connecting. Keep those messages coming in. Whoa, we're in trouble now. Can we clear these? Who is this? Taki Lemqua says on YouTube, bless up on the downside of the afternoon, Dervan, and all in the mix. Old man winter is still raging even while on the way out. Greetings from New Jersey. Welcome to you and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in New Jersey, Taki Lemqua. He says, my condolences to the families and friends of Donald Tabby Diamond, uh, Donald Tabby Diamond Shaw, Donald Tabby Diamond Shaw of Mighty Diamonds and Friends. Crime, terrorism, the indiscriminate crime behaviors in a close-knitted society is so pathetic and unhealthy that anyone can become a victim, even the doers of the evil themselves. Such are the ill effects in a society that is plagued with corruption, trickled from top to bottom. Examples must be demonstrated to punish even politicians who believe they are exceptional as those at the grassroots whom the fingers are mainly pointed at. And Charles James on YouTube says, too many in the diaspora only interested in negative news about Jamaica. Well, you know what we always say on this program? Without positive and negative charge, we wouldn't have light in the studio or anywhere else for that matter. It takes positive and negative charge. We can't sweep the negative under the carpet and highlight the positives as a general practice. People need the truth and they need to know what is happening. They need to know. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Wednesday, the 30th and penultimate day in the month of March, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Give us all your blessings and help us. We pray, Jaman. Time is running out, but we need no one not to cry nor shout. Change them who's gone astray and show them the way, Jaman. Make this an everlasting example. We pray, Jaman, yeah. Man was made to suffer, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Have mercy on a good man and help him. We pray, Jaman. Have mercy on a good girl.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM.